Alright, so we're going to go over some dry fire techniques that's a little bit more advanced than what you normally see in just standing in your living room or your garage, conducting reloads, stuff like that. All that stuff's great. I do it all the time. We've got some pretty inclement weather out here today. It's tornado warnings, thunderstorms, rain, so I don't really want to go out to the range, even though we have a private range out here at McCloy Implement. But this is a very applicable scene and technique and just aspect that the everyday American can use in any context. You know, I lived in a suburban neighborhood for a while, and I would do this exact same thing. I would pull my vehicle into the garage, close the door so the neighbors didn't call the cops on a dude running around the neighborhood with an AR. And it's a great way to incorporate weapons handling, you know, different manipulations, and utilizing cover in a vehicle. So there's a lot of things that you can incorporate into your dry fire practice without actually having to go to the range and shoot live or being limited on your space. You can get a lot of reps in and incorporate a ton of different aspects in 15 minutes before dinner, right? So it's a very, very efficient way to utilize weapons handling, utilizing cover, and just getting more familiar with your firearm in general and essential items for your everyday life in your vehicles, which is a universal aspect across the world. So I'm going to go through it. We'll talk about the different aspects that I'm going to do. I'm going to incorporate 3 different shooting positions. This is not a plug and play tutorial on how to exit a vehicle and engage bad guys downrange. This is just something that I'm showcasing something that I do personally. I'm already rigged up. I've got my chest rig here. I've got my rifle. And the reason I'm doing this is because in my community and in my everyday life, this is how I would respond to something. I have stuff set up where it's an emergency, like I got to grab and go. I grab my chest rig, I grab my rifle, and I go. It's a very basic setup with just some extra mags and some plates in it. So this is what's applicable to me. It's probably going to look different for you. Some of you may have a go bag. Some of you may just have a soft rifle case with a magazine. And so you can, but what's great about this is you can incorporate whatever you have and make it fit into your life however it works. So we'll go through it and then we'll get a little bit deeper into the details. Okay, so that's it, right? Pretty simple. So let's come around the other side of the vehicle. We'll start at the very beginning. So again, rough context is I get a call from my brother-in-law. There's something going down. We need to respond. I grab my kit. My weapon is hot already. Obviously, we're doing dry fire, so we got a barrel plug in here. Makes it completely safe. Jump in my vehicle. I know there's probably going to be bad guys and a high likelihood that I'm going to have to engage, right? So we pull up, see the bad guys, we exit the vehicle, pretty simple. And again, I want to incorporate 3 different shooting positions. So we have a kneeling, a prone, and then an offhand supported shooting position. So kneeling, we're utilizing more the cover aspect of the vehicle, the engine block, the wheels. This is really the only somewhat reliable place to shoot efficiently from behind cover. So we had a support side kneeling shot over here. Then something that I was trying as I was moving through the concealment portion of the vehicle, I ducked beneath the window line and conducted an emergency reload just because I wanted to really efficiently use the concealment factor. This isn't great cover. It's not a reliable source of cover. So I'm hiding my movements from anything over here by ducking below the window line and conducting a reload in a sort of awkward and less than ideal position. Now, another interesting aspect that's very useful for things like this is this truck's got a canopy on it. It's got tinted windows with a canopy. Some trucks don't have windows, some trucks have flatbeds. So that's why it's another good reason just to work with different types of vehicles. Something that's cool about the canopy is it's tinted, and it's obviously a two-way sight alley, but if I can peek through the windows, I can acquire where my target is before I engage in the shooting position. I work down into urban prone, I shoot from underneath the vehicle to a target that's a little bit farther away. I get up, and again, utilizing and practicing and seeing how it feels to utilize your visual concealment, if you will. I acquire my target over here. I recognize that he's a little bit farther away. It's going to be useful to use just a basic corner here with no rest, using your hand as your primary stabilizing factor. And that's the end of it, right? It took 20 seconds. Dry fire is great, especially it's become more prevalent the last couple of years when ammo sales and prices spiked up a little bit, and so dry fire has become increasingly popular. But this takes it to a little bit higher level that's has very much real life personal application to whatever you're trying to do. Again, you can do this anywhere. You can do this in your garage. You can do that if you have a range, great. But you can do this in your garage. It doesn't take very long. You can incorporate multiple aspects of weapons handling, manipulation, how different weapon systems work around cover like this. The other day, I was using a different kind of platform that had iron sights on it, and as I was getting out of the vehicle, I have a long lanyard on my keys, and the iron sights caught on the lanyard as I was getting out, and it caused a little bit of a hiccup there. So, doing stuff like this with everyday items is extremely useful because you only learn things that are beneficial. It's very positive feedback, and there's no drawback to doing anything like this. And also what I like about this is, you know, when you go out to the range, a lot of ranges have restrictions on where you got to point your muzzle. Some ranges don't let you work down range. A lot of ranges aren't going to let you do this kind of stuff. I'm not advocating that you pull your SUV that you use to haul your kids back and forth to soccer practice out on a live range and then, all right, let's see how it goes. You know, I'm saying that you can do stuff like this and learn very, very helpful information that applies to any real world context. So it's a great way to just get more familiar with your weapon. It's a great way to learn how to efficiently use cover versus concealment. So we're packing a ton of aspects into a 20-second segment. So it's a plug and play that you can use to fit your everyday life. And I mean, it's what I do. We have a private range here at McCloy Implement, but I would say probably 60 to 70% of the training that I do is just stuff like this. I do it 15-minute segments during the day. We got busy schedules, and this is a great way to efficiently utilize any kind of training that you want to incorporate into life. So like and subscribe. We have a YouTube and Instagram page. Make sure you follow.